Hi, I'm Heidi Hope. I am an artist, a photographer, a teacher, and an entrepreneur who has spent the past 20 years teaching art, photography, and how to follow your passion in life. And if you want to, how to make a lot of money doing it. Today's video is about pricing your photography or any art-based business really for profit. I've seen so many photographers and artists and creatives work around the clock and burn themselves out and miss out on important moments with their families because they didn't price their work for profit. So after all that hard work, they were barely taking a paycheck, or more often than not, they didn't pay themselves anything at all. Their money just kind of filtered back into their business or their prop habit or new gear or whatever. You really can create a career doing what you love. You have to kind of take the emotion out of it and just do the numbers, do the math, and figure out what that profitable number is going to be for you to make the job worthwhile, right? And this could be for pricing a painting or pricing a photography session. So we're going to be going through today and talking about how to price a photography session for profit, but really these calculations can be used for any art-based business, okay? I think all professionals deserve to take a paycheck for their hard work and create a career doing what they love that affords all the same things that a normal career affords, like vacation and sick time, saving for a rainy day, saving for retirement, health insurance, childcare. All of these things, a lot of times artists don't take into consideration when they're pricing their work. Just because you're doing something you love, it doesn't mean that you shouldn't get paid. In fact, my belief is that when you're doing what you love and you're really serving the world with your gifts in the unique way that only you can, when you're doing that, you actually have the potential to make the most amount of money that you could possibly make. So you're leaving a lot on the table if you don't do the numbers and the math to get yourself priced for profit ahead of time. So let's value that beautiful thing that only you can do and the impact that you're meant to have on the world and get started with pricing your work for profit. Most of the videos that I'll be sharing in the coming weeks and months are short but powerful snippets from the online courses that I've created over the years. If you like learning with me and you'd like to sign up for a full course from beginner photography all the way to Photographer Rising, which is my exact blueprint for building a 7-figure photography business with multiple revenue streams, you can visit HeidiHopeLearning.com. and you can register for any of these courses today. Full courses have all sorts of extras like worksheets, business plans, and bonuses that you can't get here on YouTube. Plus, all of the info is organized in one place. You can go at your own pace online and learn sequentially there. The best part is, because you're supporting my channel, if you see a course that you love on HeidiHopeLearning.com, you can use the code YouTube, YOUTUBE, all uppercase, to save 50% of any of my online courses. I'm going to put the links below all of the videos. So you just go to HeidiHopeLearning.com, use the code YouTube, save 50% on any of my online courses. So let's value that beautiful thing that only you can do and the impact that you're meant to have on the world and get started with pricing your work for profit. Necessary profit per session. We calculate how much you need to gross, which is your total sales, to have a sustainable business and pay yourself by determining your necessary profit per session. What you profit off your monthly sales after your cost of goods is subtracted must be greater than the sum of your monthly business overhead and your payroll. Meaning, you need to pay your bills with your studio overhead or at home overhead, whatever the software costs that you're using, whatever. You need to pay your overhead and you should be paying yourself. So what you make in sales every month after cost of goods is subtracted out of it needs to be able to pay both of those bills. If you don't, then you're actually losing money running your business. So you want to design your pricing so that the minimum profit off of a session multiplied by the number of sessions you shoot adequately covers these costs. Meaning, if my overhead is $10,000 a month, I need to make, and I'm shooting 10 sessions a month, then I need to make $1,000 a session. And that's the profit after cost of goods is subtracted out. So that means I need to be able to have $1,000 a month to pay my bills after cost of goods is subtracted. To achieve this, we're going to calculate what I call necessary profit per session. So here's questions you need to ask yourself before calculating this. What do you want to pay yourself? What is your overhead, which we began calculating in the last lesson, and what is your cost of goods, which you should also have already calculated. Pay yourself first. So many photographers don't do this, but it's a job, guys. If you're doing a job, you need a paycheck, okay? Decide what you're going to want to pay yourself for the number of hours you will work. The time that you're spending on your photography business is time away from your family. It's time away from a different career. It's time away from the countless other things that you could be doing. What is that time worth to you? It doesn't matter what your photos look like, what your style is, how much of a portfolio you have built, how ready you feel. None of that matters. You are valuable. Your time is valuable. There are so many ways that you can contribute and serve in this world. And if that is by doing free photography or low price photography for people who are in need, if you want to do it as a charity, do it. If you want to do it as a hobby, do it. I am all for artistic hobbies, but I'm guessing you're in this course because you actually want to make money at it. If you actually want to make money at it and have a profitable business, this is how you do it. These numbers we're calculating today is how you do it. So, questions to calculate. How many sessions do you want to shoot per month and year? How much money do you want to salary yourself annually before taxes? What is your business overhead annually? Because we're going to divide it by 12. So you're going to add up everything you spend within your business for the year. And what is your cost of goods for every package and product that you offer? You're going to calculate that separately. When you're considering your salary number with your number of session calculations, make sure to factor in slow season, paid sick and vacation time, investments in retirement, and childcare, okay? These things typically come out of your salary. Some investments can come out of overhead too, but you really want to consider these things in your salary if they are some of your long-term goals. A lot of people ask me about childcare with the business. If you were to hire somebody who helped with your children, who worked within your business on your payroll, that could go into overhead, but otherwise, usually, like if you're putting your kid in daycare, no, you have to pay yourself a paycheck first, and then you have to pay taxes on that money, and then paying daycare is after tax money. It's not before tax money. So most childcare is something you need to factor into your salary. So if you have XYZ, whatever, 10 grand in childcare costs, that needs to, if you were originally going to pay yourself 50, now you should pay yourself probably like 75 because that'll be 10 after taxes, right? Necessary profit per session. Okay, so here is the equation. This can be found in the PDF, Necessary Profit per Session, on HeidiHopeLearning.com right under this module, okay? So the equation is we're going to take your salary, your annual salary that you want to pay yourself, $50,000 a year, $75,000 a year, $100,000, $200,000. What do you want to pay yourself? We're going to take your salary and we're going to divide it by 12. Then we're going to take your total overhead for the year, which you guys should have calculated. If you haven't yet, you're going to have to go back and do it. Calculate your overhead for the entire year, everything you spend on your business throughout the year. Take the total number of that and divide it by 12. Then you're going to add those two together and you're going to come up with your monthly expense. So basically your monthly expense is like an average. Your salary is probably pretty consistent, but your overhead can change. Like you might have some annual dues. You might have some times of the year that you shop more. You might have outsourcing costs during busy season, but not during slow season. And so that's why we like to take an annual number, a total number. You can look at your taxes last year or what your write-offs were. Take the total number, divide it by 12. Then we get a monthly expense. So your monthly expense is going to be different from month to month. We just want an average. This is so that we can make sure we're bringing enough money into the business to support all of our expenses. Okay, then you're going to take your monthly expense and you're going to divide it by the number of sessions that you want to shoot per month. And that's how you're going to get your necessary profit per session. So here's a sample. Let's say I want my salary to be $50,000 a year. I'm going to divide that by 12. That means I need $4,100 per month in salary. my overhead, let's say it's $25,000 a year. I'm going to divide that by 12. That means I need to spend about $2,000 per month in overhead. If I add together my monthly salary plus my monthly overhead, my monthly expense equals over $6,200 per month, okay? So that means I need that number, $6,200 a month, just to pay my bills within my business. If I make any less than that in profit, then I am going to be losing money in my business. I am running a business that's losing money. Does that make sense? So you can take the monthly expense, that $6249.99, and divide it by the number of sessions you want to shoot. Let's say I just want to shoot 10 sessions a month. I'm a home-based part-time photographer. That's why my overhead's so low. And that brings me to $625 per session. I need to profit $625 per session to not lose money and to be able to pay myself and not lose money. To pay myself and pay my bills, I need $625 per session. Otherwise, it is not worth it for me to shoot, because then I either won't have enough money to pay myself or I won't have enough money to pay my bills. But either way, I will be going into debt. So your NPPS, your necessary profit per session, is the minimum you need to make per session. Now we can play around with what that looks like with our different offerings, okay? So let's say we're pricing collections using necessary profit per session. We, at our studio, price our lowest collection to meet our necessary profit per session. Most people buy collections. If I'm not making that bottom number, then it is not worth it for me to be in business. So at 10 sessions per month, our necessary profit per session is $625. Sometimes you'll see it as NPPJ, that's necessary profit per job. I do teach this to other creatives too. So my necessary profit per job is $625. The cost of goods of my lowest collection, let's say it's $250. So I need to add that on to my profit margin, right? Because if I sell the lowest collection, I'm going to have to pay out $250 in cost of goods to buy the canvas, to buy the prints, to buy whatever else I'm buying, the packaging, all that. I need $625 to be left over. So my lowest collection price would be the necessary profit per session plus the cost of goods. That equals my lowest package price. This is just to pay myself and pay my bills within the business. This isn't yet factoring for growth, scaling, saving for retirement, all that stuff, unless I factored that into my overhead. Okay, so booking fees and volume. If you have a session fee, that means your packages could be lower priced. So if I have a $200 session fee, then I could price my collection at $675 instead and still meet my necessary profit per job, right? So if I add a session fee, I can lower the package price, because as long as I'm still bringing in the $875, it doesn't matter if I break it up into a $200 deposit and $675 for the package, whatever. You can also increase your volume. So if I do 20 jobs a month instead of 10 jobs a month, which is 5 per week, my necessary profit per job is going to drop to $300. So that, and then whatever my cost of goods are on top of that, maybe that's more in a price point that you're comfortable at right now. So at 20 jobs per month, my necessary profit per job would be $312. If my cost of goods in my lowest package is still $250, then the lowest collection price would be $562. If I had a $200 session fee, then I could charge a $200 session fee when you book, and then the lowest package price could be $362. So see how you can work these numbers? You can mix them up. You can play around with different things to still make your necessary profit per session. As long as you're profiting that $625 now, and this is all an example, you guys, so you have different overhead, you want to pay yourself a different amount, your number is going to be different. This is just an illustration of how the formula works. So take time now to calculate your necessary profit per session. That means you're going to have to go through and list all of your overhead for the year. You're going to need to go through and list all of your cost of goods for every package and product that you offer. And then later, we're not doing it yet, we are going to develop packages that fit your necessary profit per session. But for now, you just need to calculate your necessary profit per session. Decide what you're going to pay yourself, and calculate what your necessary profit per session is. This is just such a good baseline. Yeah, maybe sometimes you get lower sales,
but hopefully you get a lot higher sales too. It's just a good baseline for you to start to grasp. Like once I figured out this for my business, then I was like, if somebody asked me to shoot for free, I was like, wow, I'm basically like putting my business in the hole. 625 or whatever. Our necessary profit per session was higher than that. Whatever our necessary profit per session was, I'm putting myself in a hole every time I shoot a session that doesn't bring in this much money. And so then you become very conscious of where you're spending your time. And you make sure that if you do a free session, if you do a portfolio building session, you need to make sure that is something that is really moving your business forward or is very close to your heart. It is a charitable cause. It is for somebody in need. Because otherwise, you're just spending all of your time for no return.
Okay, so in this video, we talked about cost of goods and overhead in the calculation of your pricing your work for profit. If you need help calculating your overhead and cost of goods, that's what the next video is about. So make sure you subscribe to the channel and hit the notification button so that you get notified when that video comes out. So we're going to be calculating, that's part 2 of this. We're going to be calculating overhead and cost of goods, and it will go through everything that you need to formulate those numbers accurately. If you liked today's video and you want to see more free art, photography, and business lessons from me, please support the channel by liking the video, subscribing, sharing, and commenting. All of those things are ways that you can support the channel and keep my videos in the algorithm and help my message and my lessons reach more people. And it also supports me in creating all of this free content for you guys. So I hope you enjoyed it. Leave me some love in the comments below. Bye.